see, a lot of people talk about entrepreneurship. A lot of people want to be an entrepreneur. A lot of people call themselves entrepreneurs, right? But so many people are confused what it is and what it's like to be an entrepreneur. And when you look at the way they think, the way they act, it's clear that they are confused about what this whole entrepreneur thing is all about. So there is a big difference between being an employee and then being an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, right, if you are aiming to become an entrepreneur, if you call yourself an entrepreneur, if you want to be an entrepreneur, we need to define what entrepreneurs are or what entrepreneurship is, and then we need to act like entrepreneurs act. There is a certain way that entrepreneurs act that is completely different from just typical marketers, from typical employees, or from people who just want something for nothing, okay? And I want to address a few of those. So first one is entrepreneurs have a big vision. Entrepreneurs are dreamers, right? And I think before we even get into those things, let's kind of define what an entrepreneur means. What's the definition of the word entrepreneur? Have you ever looked it up? Okay, a lot of people in this space, a lot of people in our industry, a lot of people watching these videos call themselves entrepreneurs. But when we look at the actual definition of the word entrepreneur, I'm going to paraphrase this obviously, but it goes something like this. It's a person who initiates, creates, and operates business or businesses, right? Taking on more than normal financial risks in order to do so. Okay? Now, then let's kind of define what this word business means. What is the purpose of a business? Business solves a problem in the marketplace. The sole purpose for a business existence, right, is to solve a particular problem or a challenge in the marketplace. And to the degree that a business can solve a problem in the marketplace, will the business be successful? Okay? So now let's kind of zoom out a little bit and talk about this entrepreneurship thingy, right? So an entrepreneur is somebody who creates and operates and runs a business or businesses, meaning they're solving challenges, they're solving problems, right, in the marketplace. And obviously the monetary reward, right, is a byproduct of what business actually does. Okay, and obviously businesses solve problems in exchange for, monetary reward, which is financial money and all that good stuff, which is everything that we want, right? So when you and I are calling ourselves entrepreneurs, we need to think and we need to act like entrepreneurs act, like real, true entrepreneurs act. Okay, so here's the thing: when we become entrepreneurs, okay, when we decide to work for ourselves, when we decide to do something where we have no boss, nobody's going to tell you what to do, we immediately, okay, venture out into an area where we don't have a boss, and if we're not careful, it's very easy to slip into the thinking of like an employee, right? Maybe if you had a job for all your life, like a lot of us did, a lot of us do, right? And so it's very easy to kind of act like an employee, thinking like and then call yourself an entrepreneur, right? Thinking you're an entrepreneur, but you're acting like an employee. So first, entrepreneurs have big, giant visions, okay? Every single one of them, every single one true entrepreneur, business owner, they all have big visions, big dreams, big ideas, what can be done, and they don't limit themselves, right? So first and foremost, I want to, ask you to think about this, right? How are you doing in that department? Are you a big dreamer? Do you have visions? Are you satisfied with what's going on in your industry or not? Okay, if you're a true entrepreneur, you probably will not be satisfied with what's going on in your industry. There's always things that can be improved, right? There's always things that we can do better. There's ideas that we constantly have, new ideas, new things that we can improve, right, and implement. So entrepreneurs are big dreamers. Second thing is every single entrepreneur, they are risk takers. Okay, risk takers. They're not people that are, what's the word I'm looking for? They're not, typical thinkers. They're not somebody that would make decisions and then just kind of, have every turn kind of figured out, right? Entrepreneurs are a lot of times, for lack of a better analogy, maybe, as people who can jump out of the plane, metaphorically speaking, and build their parachute on the way down. You know what I mean? So, but here's the thing: every single real entrepreneur that you admire, that you see out there, all right, they're making moves. Every single one of them had to take enormous, tremendous amounts of risks. and they took those risks, right? Now, a lot of people, what I see, right, when I see what they're talking about and then what they're doing, how they're acting, they're completely different things. Okay, so entrepreneurs are risk takers. Are you a risk taker? Are you willing to take risks in order for you to do whatever it is that you intend to do? Make sense? Okay, thing number 3 is entrepreneurs. There is no such thing as a part-time entrepreneur. Do you know any part-time entrepreneurs? Seriously, do you know anybody who is truly successful, right? Who is crushing it out there, making moves in the industry, who is well known, who is building something that's worth building and paying attention to, and they're just like, I'm just gonna be part-time in it, right? I'm just gonna kick the tires, right? See how it kind of goes. No, entrepreneurs are not part-timers. They're not even full-timers. Entrepreneurs, real entrepreneurs, are all the timers. I'm telling you, when I am building a company right now, right? When I started out years and years ago, when I wanted to become an entrepreneur, the idea of what I'm doing, what I'm building, this business that I'm trying to propagate and promote and push into the marketplace, the people I'm trying to serve and how I'm trying to to do that, all that stuff, it's a never-ending process. It's a never-ending task. It's a never-ending thing, right? I don't have a work hours. You know what I mean? I might have some time when I'm not on the computer, for example, right? Or I'm not doing actual writing emails or working with designers or developers or building a platform or actually doing work with my hands on the computer and stuff like that, or shooting videos like this. But my mind is always at work. It's always spinning. It's always thinking. And guess what? The thing I'm thinking about is what what I set out to do, right? So if I'm an entrepreneur, make sense? And I am operating and building a business and operating a business, and the purpose of a business is to solve a challenge or bring a solution to the marketplace, to the world, right? To the degree that I can do that effectively, will I be successful? Does that make sense? That brings me to the point number 4 right here, which is this: entrepreneurs cannot blame anybody or anything for a lack of their success. Okay, it's very easy for us to take credit when we win, right? But then when we don't win, it's very easy for a lot of these so-called entrepreneurs, quote-unquote entrepreneurs, to start blaming, right? It's the economy, it's somebody else's fault, it's the thing, it's this and that. But in the end of the day, right, guess what? It's up to you, it's up to me, okay? We don't have a boss to tell us what to do. We don't have anybody to tell us when to take a break, when to start working, when to go to vacation, when to do whatever. We are our own boss. We decided to do this. Guess what? The moment you decided to become an entrepreneur, you just gave away your right to complain about anything. Okay? Period. There is nothing that you can complain about unless you're willing to change something. You don't have the right to complain about nothing. Now, what you need to do, thing number 5, is this: is entrepreneurs are very adaptable. Okay, they're very flexible. They're very, it's like a tree, right? When an oak, I think, is pretty rigid, right? So when there was a huge wind or whatever the tree, I'm not, this analogy just came to me, but I want to drop it. I think it's pretty relevant to what I'm talking about here, right? Some trees are not very flexible, right? So when there is a wind, it breaks right away. Okay. Now, some trees, palm trees, for example, are pretty flexible, right? There could be a huge, wind, there could be a huge storm or whatever. It's just gonna bend, it's just gonna lay its head a little bit, right? And then the wind goes away, it goes back up again. Entrepreneurs, we need to be flexible, because guess what? There's gonna be winds, there's gonna be storms, there's gonna be unpredictable situations happening in your life, in your business, in the economy, in the environment, in your health, in your relationships, doesn't matter. Okay, that should not affect your business world.